to the Rock Island Coast and streaming live in HD worldwide at foxbangor.com. More people choose Good Morning Maine.
Hello everyone. Today on Good Morning Maine, 2 Belfast teenagers have been arrested and charged with arson in connection with a structure fire. We'll have the details coming up.
Plus, rising oil prices driven by the conflict in Iran are increasing asphalt costs here in Maine as towns prepare for paving season.
And a local radio station held their fundraiser broadcast over the weekend for TSA agents and Coast Guard members. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Janessa Bishop.
And I'm Craig Colson. Thank you for joining us this morning. We hope you had a wonderful weekend. Hope you had a nice weekend
too.
You had a busy weekend.
I did. Down to Schoodic Point and down to Augusta and all over the place.
That's awesome.
But it was good weather for it, so had to take advantage of that.
You do. And speaking of the weather, things are going to be taking a turn. It was a little chilly over the weekend. It was nice.
Yeah.
But today, temperatures are going to get up around 60 degrees. Yeah. It's going to be on the cloudy side, but 60 will feel great.
Yeah, still that warm weather.
Yeah.
We'll turn things over to meteorologist Devin Biggs.
And thank you very much, Craig and Janessa. Happy Monday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center. Now offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. Already we have advisories posted, a small craft advisory up along the coast, and that will last until about 6 a.m. as we head towards your Tuesday. A winter weather advisory up, and that will last until 11 a.m. Wednesday. We do have some wintry weather on the way. Concerns for a little bit of ice that will be on the way moving forward with our next wintry system en route. But for now, we are quiet out there. We will have some clouds that's already developing, and we'll hold on to those moving forward. Today and tonight, we will be dry, but we will have more active weather starting later on into the forecast period. But as we do zoom things out, we're watching activity moving in from the west. There's a front off to the northwest, but it's farther out toward the west. We'll have to watch for more activity that will begin to move in. So futurecast, we're watching for energy clearing out. Will be mostly cloudy today, mostly cloudy tonight, and then once we head towards your Tuesday, notice activity will begin during the afternoon and even evening time frame. That's ice and snow that's farther off towards the north that we'll have to keep an eye on. Hourly forecast moving forward, we'll have clouds today with temperatures in the 40s and 50s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig and Janessa?
Thank you, Devin. We'll see you a little later on. Well, first this morning, authorities are actively investigating an aggravated assault that occurred on Court Street in Bangor. The incident happened at around 5:31 on Sunday morning. According to a spokesperson with the Bangor Police Department, authorities received a report of someone injured in an aggravated assault at a residence on Court Street. According to social media reports, it was a stabbing, although there's no information about exactly what happened or the condition of those involved. Details are limited at this time, but Bangor Police says there's no threat to the public.
Well, meanwhile, 2 Belfast teenagers have been charged with arson in connection with a structure fire. According to the Department of Public Safety, the city's fire and police departments were sent to 81 Patterson Hill Road in Belfast early last Friday morning for a reported structure fire. When they arrived, the structure was fully engulfed with flames. They also located 2 individuals near the scene, 19-year-olds Isaac Cummings and Rowan Locke, both of Belfast. An investigation determined the fire was intentionally set, and later in the afternoon, fire officials from the fire marshal's office charged the 2 19-year-olds with arson. The Department of Public Safety says Cummings and Locke were both transported to the Somerset County Jail. They're being held on $10,000 cash bail.
Meanwhile, an arrest was made on Friday in connection to a fire at a convenience store in Howland that occurred over 3 years ago. A Penobscot County grand jury indicted 39-year-old Samantha Randall of Howland on arson charges in connection with the fire. According to the Department of Public Safety, back in November of 2022, firefighters responded to a reported structure fire at the Howland Corner store. First responders confronted active fire conditions and signs of rapid fire development shortly after the store had closed that Wednesday evening. Authorities say the investigation remains ongoing and additional arrests and charges are expected.
3 people were displaced last Sunday night after a fire tore through a single-family home in Ripley. At around 12:30 Sunday afternoon, the Dexter Fire Department, which covers the Ripley area, was dispatched to the Seavey Road. Upon arrival, officials reported the building was heavily engulfed. The fire was upgraded to a second alarm, triggering mutual aid from neighboring departments in Somerset and Penobscot and Piscataquis counties. According to the Dexter Fire Captain Steve Brown, despite there not being any hydrants in the area, shuttling water from an external source was not necessary. The homeowner told ABC7 Fox 22 their daughter and their animals were the only ones home at the time of the fire, and they are all safe.
Focusing on a brick building that the folks lived in. It's got a flat roof, heavy fire inside. There's batteries that were running the solar panels is apparently what started the blaze. We're focusing on extinguishing those at this time.
Well, fire officials say the home is a total loss and the family did not have insurance, but a GoFundMe has been started to support the family. We will have a link to that on our website at foxbangor.com.
In other news, crews in Trenton were called back to the Open Hearth Inn on Sunday morning after a fire had rekindled. It's the same inn that caught fire and suffered severe damage to one of the main buildings on Saturday. According to the Trenton Volunteer Fire Department, upon arrival, crews found smoke and hot spots in a roof line. They say multiple layers of shingles had been installed on the building over the years, which allowed heat and fire to extend and smolder in those concealed areas. The fire department says those areas are now fully extinguished. The inn's co-manager, Kristen Coombs, told us the fire affected one of the main buildings of the inn where two individuals were staying. Those individuals were unharmed and moved to a different location on the property. The Department of Public Safety said the fire appears to be accidental in nature. However, due to the extent of damage and structural collapse, the origin and cause of the fire could not be determined.
There were a total of 19 fatal work injuries in Maine in 2024. That's according to a report by the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. That number is 8 less from the prior year. The report also says transportation incidents were the most frequent type of fatal events, accounting for 47% of all of Maine's fatal work injuries. The construction sector accounted for 6 of Maine's 19 fatal work injuries. 8 workers, 55 years old and over, died in 2024. Their full report is available on our website.
Over 3,000 protests were held across the country on Saturday for what was called a No Kings National Day of Nonviolent Action. One of those gatherings took place here in Bangor. Thousands lined the streets from the Paul Bunyan statue to West Market Square to voice disapproval of President Trump's administration. The protest was organized by Indivisible Bangor.
It's pretty encouraging, and it's also powerful. We've had a lot of frustration with this current administration, so seeing a lot of people here who feel the same way, it means a lot.
Bangor's protest was one of the dozens across the state. Others included Orono, Calais, Monroe, Dexter, Deer Isle, and many more.
One of those locations included Maine's largest city. A No Kings protest also held at Monument Square in Portland on Saturday. Look at all the people. Their protest also included a march through the Old Port. Organizers say they voiced opposition to the war in Iran, ICE, and the ongoing DHS shutdown as well.
Rising oil prices tied to the ongoing war in Iran is impacting communities here in Maine, especially as towns prepare for paving season. Our Alexa Kennedy with more.
Rising oil prices driven by the conflict in Iran are increasing asphalt costs in Maine, threatening to reduce paving projects and strain municipal budgets. Pain at the pump has been one of the most immediate economic impacts of the conflict, as crude oil prices have surged due to supply disruptions and cuts from major Middle East producers. According to an Associated Press report, Brent crude oil topped $108 per barrel, while U.S. crude neared $98. AP says those rising oil prices are driving up asphalt costs. Maine DOT data shows prices have already increased, and officials say they're closely monitoring trends to assess impacts on project budgets. In Bangor, Public Works Director David Telon says the city is feeling the strain.
Rising fuel costs are obviously impacting activities. They're not slowing us down or stopping us, but they're impacting the budget.
The city is preparing to send paving projects out to bid, but uncertainty remains. Telon says cost increases could vary greatly, but it's too soon to be sure.
We could see a wide swing in the cost of those materials. Until we get that, we really can't analyze it.
That could mean fewer roads get paved this year.
If we have 10 miles worth of paving on there, it'll impact us to reduce the amount of miles we're going to be able to pave this year.
He says with winter damage already taking a toll, delays could have lasting effects.
The condition of our roads coming out of winter especially are in pretty poor condition right now. Potholes opening every day.
Telon warns falling behind now could create bigger problems later.
If we slack off, that means more will need to be done next year, and we'll have to increase our budget to get ahead of it again.
State officials say safeguards like asphalt price adjustments are in place. But if oil prices remain high, both state and local governments may need more funding to keep roads in good condition. In Bangor, Alexa Kennedy, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
The time now is 6:10. Coming up next on Good Morning Maine, a bond package over $200 million has advanced in the legislature. We'll have more on that ahead.
But first, another check of that forecast. A mostly cloudy day ahead today with temperatures up near 60 degrees. Mostly cloudy tonight with lows in the mid-30s. Tomorrow it could be a little messy. Everything from rain and snow could arrive here in Maine. We'll just have to wait and see. Highs around 39 degrees. We'll be right back.
GMA this week. Olivia Munn on her hit series, her health since her breast cancer diagnosis, and her life today. Plus, Zendaya, Brandy, and Arsenio in the house live.
That's almost perfect.
I mean, hello. Only on Good Morning America.
Why should your new floor come from Carpet One? Because we're passionate about the spaces our neighbors call home. We're part of your community, and we're also part of the world's largest cooperative of independently owned and operated flooring stores. So you can be sure you'll get great selection and outstanding value with every installation. Whether it's carpet, hardwood, tile, or luxury vinyl, our experts take the guesswork out of choosing the right floor. We're your local Carpet One Floor and Home, the one store for your perfect floor.
RSV can be dangerous for older adults, especially those with certain medical conditions, are elderly or frail, or living in a nursing home. The CDC recommends an RSV vaccination for all adults 75 years and older, and for adults ages 60 to 74 who are at increased risk of severe RSV disease. If you haven't been vaccinated against RSV, now's a great time to schedule this one-time vaccination. This message brought to you by the Maine CDC, this station, and the Maine Association of Broadcasters.
Spin the wheel, the letters call, one right guess could win it all. Wheel of Fortune, laughter, fun, weeknights at 7, join everyone. On ABC 7, watch and play, Wheel of Fortune's here each weekday. I'm Rick from Brewer, and I'm a wheel watcher.
Welcome back, everyone. A routine select board election in Clifton has turned into a multi-day affair after 2 absentee ballots were discovered outside of the ballot box. Last week, Cynthia Grant was announced to have won that election by just 1 vote. The thin margin then faced questioning on Friday night after 2 additional absentee ballots were discovered in a folder, unaccounted for. Those votes were challenged by a Clifton resident because, according to the town attorney, Stephen Wagner, the absentee ballots were picked up by a candidate or member of a candidate's immediate family.
The 2 ballots were picked up by a candidate who is the father and husband of the 2 people that voted. We're going to move forward.
Those ballots went unaccounted because of that challenge, and that candidate could be held criminally liable. The election results announced last week will remain valid until or if the Maine Supreme Judicial Court says otherwise.
$43 million in a new funding is available to support the installation of heat pump water heaters in Maine. The funding is through a multi-state initiative supported by a federal grant to rapidly increase the adoption of heat pump technology across the region. Incentives funded by the program are now available for eligible households through Efficiency Maine rebates of over $1,000. The rebate is provided as an instant discount on the heat pump water heater purchases at participating Maine distributors and retailers. A press release from the governor's office says the water heating accounts for about 18% of home energy use, making it the second largest energy expense for most households after heating.
A bond package of over $200 million has passed the legislature's Appropriations Committee. Legislative leaders say the money will be invested in Maine's future, and Maine voters might get the final say. Our Callie Warren has more.
This includes everything from housing production to infrastructure to clean water to transportation. rural economy, higher education.
A funding package of $207.5 million has advanced in the legislature, bringing Mainers one step closer to being able to vote on what legislative leaders say are essential funding bonds.
I mean, the reason I'm so passionate about bonds is because it doesn't reach into people's wallets in that way. It takes it, the burden away from people's property taxes or income taxes.
The package includes $65 million in funding for transportation maintenance and upgrades. $45 million is set aside for agriculture, conservation, and forestry to support Maine farmers and foresters. $15 million is allocated to resiliency infrastructure and culverts to reduce storm damage. $20 million is set to fund rural affordable housing and mobile home development, while another $20 million goes to residential sewer and water. $20 million will support the expansion of wastewater treatment systems to protect public health and clean water. The package also sends $18.5 million to the University of Maine system to remove underutilized buildings and invest in campus infrastructure. Additionally, $4 million is allocated to court system infrastructure in the Newport region, something that Newport legislator and lawyer Kenneth Fredette has been consistently advocating for.
And a lot of people just in this part of the state are not comfortable driving to Bangor, going into the big city, so to speak. So, for those people that need emergency protection orders, divorces, all that stuff, it's really critical to them.
The proposal is expected to go in front of the legislature next week. If passed by a 2/3 majority, it will go before Maine voters as a statewide referendum in November, with each funding measure to be voted on separately.
The Maine taxpayers can decide as an entire state what we want to go out and bond and invest on.
Callie Warren reporting for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
The time now is 6:16. After the break, President Trump is promising TSA officers will now get paid, even as the Homeland Security Department remains shut down.
We'll have the story coming up. Plus, radio show hosts from local stations held their own Ton of Pasta event. We'll catch up with them as Good Morning Maine continues.
When I had first left for college, I was super excited to start pursuing my dreams. And I had met so many amazing people my freshman year. Yeah, some days were really hard, balancing work life and classes, but most of them, they were the best of my life because I had something not everyone gets. A dad inspiring me every step of the way. And I'm so happy to graduate beside you.
Need a safe and caring place for your loved one during the day? At the Merchant Center Adult Day program, we provide a supportive environment where adults can enjoy companionship, engaging activities, and personalized care in a setting that feels like home. Our experienced staff is committed to meeting each person's unique needs while promoting independence, dignity, and overall well-being. Families can feel confident knowing their loved ones are in compassionate, capable hands.
Eric's secret double life and his deviant tendencies.
His former fiancée tells all.
She'd like to make you think that I'm a monster and she was not involved.
I didn't say that you were, just a second. I didn't say you were a monster. I said you were a cheater.
And the sordid details.
Are you denying that you were a cheater?
Yeah, actually I am.
Will be exposed.
Well, you want to read the emails that she got?
No, Your Honor.
Want to see the picture she got?
Next Judge Judy.
Monday at 5 on ABC 7.
Welcome back, everyone. Bath Iron Works and union members have approved a new contract. According to BIW spokesperson, union members from the Marine Draftsmen Association voted to ratify the tentative agreement Saturday morning at Brunswick High School. The new 4-year contract goes into effect immediately. This comes after hundreds of union members went on strike last Monday.
Due to the partial government shutdown, TSA and Coast Guard employees have not received paychecks since February 14th. The community of Trenton is stepping up to help ease the burden. On Saturday, WDEA radio host Chris Popper broadcast live from Edwards Brothers Supermarket in Trenton to help raise awareness and to make a difference. Folks at the supermarket could donate gift cards up to $20 in value or donate cash to be turned into gift cards. TSA agents are not allowed to accept gift cards over $20 or any amount of cash. These donations support 7 TSA agents in Trenton, 50 in Bangor, and 90 Coast Guard members.
Listen,
people in Maine are so incredibly generous. I have said for 20 plus years, Mainers take care of Mainers and those they love. And it is never more evident in something like this today.
Between the Edwards Brothers fundraiser and other donations accepted across Hancock County, Popper says over $2,000 was raised. If you also want to support your local TSA agents, he advises you can leave donations at your own local airport.
With inflation on the rise, affording meals can be tough on Mainers and their families. Bangor area radio stations spent their Saturday helping to step in. Radio show hosts from Q106.5, Z107.3, and 95.7 I-95 Rocks were at the Brewer Hannaford collecting boxes of pasta, pasta sauce, and cash donations. It's a part of their annual Ton of Pasta event, where they attempt to collect 1 ton of pasta for local food pantries.
We do not care if you can donate $1, 1 box. It's so helpful because you don't know if it's your neighbor that needs it, coworker, somebody might need it that you know, and it's so important to help everybody out there.
Sproul estimates that the food drive brought in enough pasta to feed over 4,000 Mainers. If you missed the event but still want to help Mainers in your community, Sproul encourages you to donate to your local food pantry.
What a nice thing to do. The folks over there at the radio stations, I used to work with them, so I know them all. You know, doing things for the community is huge over there.
Very
and
big.
They come through time and time again.
All kind people.
Whether it's the turkey-thon, this kind of thing,
yeah, they
or
do
whatever.
a lot of different stuff. So
good stuff.
Very cool. The time now is 6:21. Let's get a full look at our weather forecast with meteorologist Devin Biggs.
And thank you very much, Craig and Janessa. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center, now offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. Alrighty, here we go. A small craft advisory is up until Tuesday at around 6 a.m. We also have a winter weather advisory that's running until 11 a.m. As we head towards your Wednesday, we will be watching for some wintry precipitation that will be on the way as we head towards your Tuesday. Today and tonight we will be okay. Wave heights for now at around 3 to 4 feet according to the buoys, while farther off towards the north and east a little more active. While farther out towards sea, 3 to 4 foot wave heights are being observed at this moment in time. Meanwhile, here we are dry outside this morning under a mostly cloudy sky, and we are going to hold on to the clouds for a good part of this week. We have a front further off towards the north with some energy already taking place. And again, it's going to be leaving us alone for now. We'll just have the clouds today and tonight, but our turn for precipitation will soon be on the way. So we will be under a mostly cloudy sky today, maybe some rain further off towards the north. And then later on tonight, a mostly cloudy sky. The precipitation will leave us alone. We'll get precipitation in here Tuesday. A wintry mix, rain, freezing rain, sleet, and snow possibility. I'm definitely concerned about some ice concerns further off towards the north Tuesday night and the parts of your Wednesday, so things may get slippery. I wouldn't be surprised about a little bit of power outage concerns too as we head towards Tuesday night and the parts of your Wednesday. 1/4 of an inch to maybe 3/10 of an inch of ice before we're all finished up from Millinocket up to Caribou too. Nothing further down toward the south. So that means snow accumulation's not too bad, maybe a couple inches further off towards the north, obviously not so much further down toward the south. So mostly cloudy and windy today with highs in the low 60s, southwest wind at about 30 miles per hour. By tonight, we have mid-30s under a mostly cloudy sky and that northwest wind backing off to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Upper 30s, rain, freezing rain, sleet, and snow to watch out for with that northeast wind getting up to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. And let's check out your extended forecast brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center. For your Wednesday morning rain chances, those will back off with highs in the mid-50s. And then mostly cloudy Thursday with highs in the low 40s. Good Friday, another wintry mix switching to all rain with highs in the low 40s.
Grab a cup, fill it up, top it off, weigh it up. Here at Sweet Frog, you are in total control. Sweet Frog, where our secret ingredient is fun.
Your favorite restaurants were half off. It's half off dining from Fox 22 and ABC 7. Go to foxbangor.com, click on half off dining, and start saving now.
Located on Wilson Street in Brewer, Yoshi Japanese Restaurant, where you'll find only the best sushi, Asian favorites, and specialty crafted cocktails that will satisfy anyone. Try tatami seating for an immersive experience. Yoshi Japanese Restaurant, bringing delicious traditions to you.
Great restaurants from all over Eastern Maine at half off dining from Fox 22 and ABC 7.
Got old metal and junk cars? Turn that clutter into cash at Daddy and Daughters. We make recycling easy, fast, and fair. From Skowhegan to Dover Foxcroft, from Troy to Lee, you can trust our certified scales and friendly service, offering top prices for junk vehicles in Maine. Whether you drop off or we pick up, Daddy and Daughters covers Central and Eastern Maine. Come see us at one of our 4 locations and watch your scrap pay off. Daddy and Daughters turn scrap into cash. From the heart of Maine, where rugged beauty meets timeless craftsmanship, Richard Henderson & Sons Masonry, taming the outdoors through groundwork, retaining walls and seawalls, building custom fireplaces that become the centerpiece of your home, crafting granite steps and patios that invite you outdoors, designing hardscapes that turn yards into living spaces, built to last, crafted for life. Richard Henderson & Sons Masonry, quality in every stone.
Grab a cup, fill it up, top it off, weigh it up. Here at Sweet Frog, you are in total control. Sweet Frog, where a secret ingredient is fun.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Now to the war with Iran, officially entering its second month. More than 50,000 American troops are now in the Middle East as President Trump is said to be considering his next options. ABC's Olivia Rubin has the latest.
Overnight, the first American troops reaching the Middle East, and President Trump still not ruling out a ground invasion in Iran.
I just have lots of alternatives. We have tremendous numbers of ships over there. We don't need them all because of, the power.
Negotiations with Iran underway as the war enters its 5th week. Now, Trump saying there could be a deal soon before tamping down expectations moments later.
I would only say that we're doing extremely well in that negotiation, but you never know with Iran because we negotiate with them and then we always have to blow them up.
Overseas, the first U.S. ground troops arriving. 3,500 sailors and Marines from the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit, equipped with transport and strike fighter aircraft and amphibious assault capabilities. A second Marine unit expected to arrive in the region in May. And another 1,500 soldiers from the Army's elite 82nd Airborne also preparing to deploy. Those troops trained to parachute behind enemy lines. Meanwhile, dangerous blasts around the region. This video showing the aftermath of an Iranian missile attack at an industrial site in southern Israel. And these videos showing first responders searching through rubble in Tehran. Nearby, several buildings at a university also damaged. Iran now vowing to retaliate for what it says are Israel's strikes on universities, saying all American universities in the region are now fair game. And now Pakistan, which sources tell ABC has been acting as an intermediary between the United States and Iran, announcing that talks are set to happen in the coming days, though neither side confirming. Olivia Rubin, ABC News, Washington.
Meanwhile, smoke was seen rising over Beirut's skyline from the latest Israel strikes on the Lebanese capital, following a warning from Israel's army. The death toll in Lebanon has exceeded 1,200 people in the ongoing war between Israel and Hezbollah, according to the Lebanese Health Ministry. That ministry also said more than 3,500 people were also wounded since the start of the latest military escalation. Among the killed are 52 healthcare workers. Israel launched intense airstrikes over Lebanon after the Hezbollah militant group fired rockets toward northern Israel in solidarity with Iran on March 2nd. Since then, over 1 million people have been displaced as Israeli ground forces continue an invasion into southern Lebanon.
The first paychecks in weeks now being sent to airport security workers. But the long nightmare for Homeland Security employees isn't over yet. Those long lines at the airports, though, may finally be easing, but questions remain about President Trump's new order, paying TSA officers. He spoke overnight, revealing new information as the funding standoff in Congress drags on. Olivia Rubin also has that report.
This morning, President Trump is promising TSA workers will get paid indefinitely, even as the Homeland Security Department remains shut down.
We're going to pay them for as long as we have to.
They've gone more than a month without pay, prompting a record number to call out or quit, leading to those long airport security lines. Lines so long, some travelers hired people to take their place and wait for them.
The sooner they get paid, I'm sure that'll help all of us get through these lines quick.
Overnight, the American Federation of Government Employees confirming TSA workers are beginning to see their back pay processed for payment.
Not only do they need to get back paid, but everybody needs like a $10,000 bonus because they have to put their lives back together. The mental strain of going to work and not getting paid for 3 out of the last 5 months is just unbelievable.
But other Homeland Security workers, from the Coast Guard to cybersecurity workers, are still not getting paid. Congress, before leaving on its spring recess, failing to reach a deal on funding the department as Democrats demand changes to immigration enforcement.
I think the Senate is playing it too soft. The Republicans are wonderful people, but we're dealing with very sick individuals. The Democrats are sick. There's something wrong. They're like terrorists.
Border czar Tom Homan says because of the war in Iran, funding the agency is even more critical.
We got to keep the airport safe. We got to keep the American people, going through those lines.
Olivia Rubin, ABC News, Washington.
The nation's second largest banking system has agreed to a multi-million-dollar payout to victims harmed by the late financier and convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Bank of America says it will pay $72.5 million to survivors of Epstein's sex trafficking operations. The deal covers women sexually abused or trafficked by Epstein from June 30th of 2008 through July 6th of 2019. The lawsuit alleged Bank of America held accounts by victims and associates, such as Epstein's former partner, Ghislaine Maxwell, and Leon Black, the former CEO of Apollo Global Management. Bank of America says it stands by prior statements that it did not facilitate Epstein and his associates' sex trafficking crimes. The deal does not include any admission of liability by the bank, and it must be approved by a judge. Well, coming up on the second half of the newscast, a major chocolate heist right before Easter as a truck full of chocolate goes missing.
It wasn't me, I promise. I was not even in town. We'll have the story coming up on Good Morning Maine.
We've got a 100-year-old company here, and it's because of the service, the quality, and the experience. It gets done right.
I think we've been doing it for so long. The only thing that we do, that when we walk into a room, we automatically know how to treat that window. We can take any product that the customer's looking for and make it work in just about any situation that they present us with. So
there's no reason to be overwhelmed.
No.
We can help you through it.
We're not going anywhere. We've been around for 100 years.
Give your home or business a clean slate. From roofs to carpets, siding to storefronts. We clean it all, inside and out. Locally owned, fully insured, and committed to quality. No job too big or small. Message us on Facebook at Clean Slate Services 207 or call 207-631-0500 for a free estimate. Clean Slate Services. Your property renewed.
Family Feud asks, what were they thinking?
You had an open casket funeral. You noticed the deceased pants were unzipped. What you gonna do? Unzip pants.
I would write a note.
You want him to read it?
Thinking about fun? Watch Family Feud.
Weekdays at 9 on ABC 7.
My name's RJ Decker. I'm a private investigator.
Decker Investigations.
I have a job for you.
I have reason to believe someone was abducted. You are my top suspects. Hi. I am this close to proving it was a murder for hire. That's not the low.
R.J. Decker, Tuesday on ABC and stream on Hulu.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Welcome back to Good Morning Maine. Today is Monday, March 30th, 2026, and this is also Doctor's Day.
This is a day to celebrate those who dedicate their lives toward helping others. This holiday first started in 1933 by the wife of a Georgia doctor who felt her husband and other doctors deserve recognition for all their hard work. She mailed greeting cards to local physicians and placed flowers on the graves of deceased doctors. The idea caught on, and we've been celebrating doctors ever since.
Thank goodness for doctors out there.
Yes, we all need them.
They do so much.
They do.
All right, time for some history. It was on this day back in 1858. Philadelphia inventor Hyman Lipman received a patent for the first pencil with an attached eraser. However, the Supreme Court erased that patent years later after ruling that combining two existing devices made Lipman's invention unworthy of a patent. I feel kind of bad for him.
Yeah, I do too.
Somebody had already invented the pencil and the eraser, and they figured that's enough.
Yeah, you don't need to combine them.
Yeah, poor
but
guy.
now we use them all the time.
Right, and had his patent stripped away. In
Aw.
1867, on this date, the U.S. reached an agreement with Russia to purchase the territory of Alaska for $7.2 million, a real bargain. The agreement was ridiculed in Congress and by the press, calling it Andrew Johnson's Polar Bear Garden, but receptions or perceptions changed when gold was later discovered in Alaska, and also its resources began contributing to American prosperity. Of course, there's a lot of oil up there and that sort of thing too.
Yep.
So. And in 1870, the 15th Amendment went into effect, which prohibits federal or state governments from denying a citizen the right to vote based on race. And in 1939, on this date, Detective Comics released issue number 27, which featured the first appearance of Batman.
And in 1971, Starbucks opened its first store on Seattle's Pike Place Market. In 1981, President Ronald Reagan was shot and seriously wounded after leaving a Washington, D.C. hotel. The shooting also wounded Press Secretary James Brady and a Secret Service agent. John Hinckley Jr. was later found not guilty by reason of insanity and claimed that he attempted the assassination because he thought it would impress actress Jodie Foster, with whom he had a fixation. And in 1987, a Vincent van Gogh painting called Sunflowers sold for an incredible $39.7 million. It was the highest ever paid for a painting.
Imagine having that much money to think, yeah, I'm going to buy a painting.
I know, I can't really imagine that.
$39 million.
It is a beautiful painting.
It is. All right. Today's birthdays, all singers today. They include singer Celine Dion, who is 58 today. Singer Tracy Chapman turned 62. And classic rocker Eric Clapton, one of the best guitarists ever. He is 81 years old today. And we'd like to also wish you a happy birthday if your birthday is today. We hope you have a great one.
We'll turn things right back over to meteorologist Devin Biggs.
And thank you very much, Craig and Janessa. Happy Monday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center. Now offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. Already we have advisories posted, a small craft advisory up along the coast, and that will last until about 6 a.m. as we head towards your Tuesday. A winter weather advisory up, and that will last until 11 a.m. Wednesday. We do have some wintry weather on the way. Concerns for a little bit of ice that will be on the way moving forward with our next wintry system en route. But for now, we are quiet out there. We will have some clouds that's already developing, and we'll hold on to those moving forward. Today and tonight, we will be dry, but we will have more active weather starting later on into the forecast period. But as we do zoom things out, we're watching activity moving in from the west. There's a front off off to the northwest, but it's farther out toward the west. We'll have to watch for more activity that will begin to move in. So Futurecast, we're watching for energy clearing out. We'll be mostly cloudy today, mostly cloudy tonight. And then once we head towards your Tuesday, notice activity will begin during the afternoon and even evening time frame. That's ice and snow that's farther off towards the north that we'll have to keep an eye on. Hourly forecast moving forward, we'll have clouds today with temperatures in the 40s and 50s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig and Janessa?
Thank you, Devin. Still to come here this morning, Jack Webb with sports.
Don't go away.
Spring is here, and so are huge savings on all your favorite brands, including Benjamin Moore paints and Hunter Douglas shades. Color Concepts, 840 Hammond Street, Bangor.
Here at Twin City Tire and Service, you will be working with industry professionals. We have ASE certified master technicians and certified tire and lube technicians. If we need your vehicle for a duration of time, we offer a complimentary shuttle service and can even offer a loaner vehicle. Being a client at Twin City Tire and Service means that we will treat you right. This includes a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on mechanical repairs. We also provide you with 1 year of complimentary roadside assistance. Come see us today at Twin City Tire and Service in Brewer.
When I was 29, I was diagnosed with cancer. And I think part of research and advocating for more money for cancer research allows survivors to have more time. Senator Collins supports and advocates for more funding for cancer research so that people can have better treatments, they can have better outcomes, and therefore they can live better lives as cancer survivors. Thank you, Senator Collins. Continue fighting for our families.
Spring is here, and so are huge savings on all your favorite brands, including Benjamin Moore paints and Hunter Douglas shades. Color Concepts, 840 Hammond Street, Bangor.
ABC 7 and Fox 22's Jack Webb named Maine's Sportscaster of the Year by the National Sports Media Association.
Welcome back in, folks. On Friday night, Piscataquis Community High School held an Athletes Honors Night to celebrate the school's athletic accomplishments. I made the trip to Guilford to cover the story.
That's just great because it builds culture around here. It shows that, people care about you and it pushes you to work harder.
Friday night was a special one for Piscataquis Community High School and the Pirates, who celebrated the accomplishments of teams and athletes both current and past with the raising of all new banners in the gymnasium. The school's athletic director, Tom Pansiera, says many of these accomplishments get overlooked and that they all deserve recognition.
Just to have these guys come back and recognize them, and we had so much awesome stuff happen this year so far, so just threw it all together in one night.
It didn't take long for the tears to start flowing as Pansiera, who is also the track and field coach, presented senior Ava Golette with a banner for her 2024 Class C state title and shared a special moment together on the floor.
I will always be grateful that I had the opportunity to be coached by him, and he's definitely the highlight of my athletic career here.
She's a special kid. I got a lot of them. I've coached for a lot of years, and I'm just real proud of her.
Next up was wrestling. 4 100-time winners were honored by the Pirates on Friday. Among them is senior Brady Ball, who says it was a surreal feeling knowing his name will hang in the rafters.
Considering, there's only 6 people that have ever done it, around there at least, I'm not sure the exact number, it was awesome. I just feel special getting my name on the wall.
One of the more recent accomplishments achieved in a Pirates uniform comes from Brady Gaw, who this past season added his name to the list of 1,000-point scorers. And now the banner reflects that.
It's great. I come to these games every single night, and I see all those names. I want my name up there. So all the nights coming in here that's what I was chasing.
Chloe Kimball is one of the former Pirates athletes recognized on Friday, as she and the rest of the 2025 girls tennis team were honored for their North Regional Championship.
Very cool. A lot of our athletics were a very small school, so any recognition towards anything that we do is great.
Lastly, the boys soccer team was commended for their 2025 undefeated 8-person state championship. Unfortunately, their banner did not arrive in time, but instead, each player was presented with their championship jackets, a gold ball replica, and a championship ring.
When I lift up the jacket, wow. but it was just a great feeling seeing that.
It'll be a night none of these athletes or coaches will ever forget. In Guilford, Max Sturm, ABC 7 in Fox 22 Sports.
Really cool event out there at PCHS. Now bringing it back close to home in Orono, the Maine hockey team has lost another key player to pro hockey. Earlier this week, the Black Bears lost Josh Nadeau and Frank Jurasevich to the AHL. And on Friday evening, news broke that Thomas Friel will also be leaving as he has signed with the ECHL to join the Iowa Heartlanders, who are an affiliate of the Minnesota Wild. During his career at Maine, Friel tallied 23 goals and 46 assists for a total of 69 points. On top of that, he scored 12 power play goals and was the team captain for the Black Bears in 2025. The Black Bears will surely spend this offseason looking to find players to fill the holes left by the recent departures. Now, we've covered the Husson University men's lacrosse team a whole lot over the last couple of weeks, but the women's team is doing just as well and finally had a home game on Saturday versus Thomas. The Eagles look to improve to 5-2 on the season in their first conference game of 2026, and they get it going right out of the gate. Gracie Gardner finds Layla Martinez, and she nets it to put Husson on the board. Then Gardner drives to the net, lays one low, but it's stopped by Bristol Stein. What a save by the goaltender, but it wasn't long before Husson got back on the board. This time, Kate Bumkey, tough angle, still gets it to go, and Husson kept pouring it on, and the Eagles' all-time goal leader Avery Baker cashes in for her first goal of the day, and that's just one quarter. Second quarter now, Madison Lower on the free position shot, gets it to go. She had 3 on the day. Thomas would get a couple more goals to fall in this game, including this one from Isabella Pelletier, but Avery Baker nets her second of 5 total goals, and the Eagles soar to a 16-6 victory. That's all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
Roto-Rooter has served the greater Bangor area and beyond for 35 years, offering plumbing, hydrojetting, snaking, descaling, video inspection, and grease interceptor cleaning services. For all your residential and commercial clogs, call Roto-Rooter today, 990-1234.
And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
There are so many fun things to do in Maine. Now you can enjoy more for less. Check out half-off deals from foxbangor.com.
Unwind with a massage. Let me take away the stress of everyday life and allow you to fully relax. I offer Swedish, deep tissue, and prenatal massage. Healing Strength Massage in Bangor is your place for relaxing therapeutic massage.
There's a limited supply available. It's on sale right now. Save with half-off deals from foxbangor.com.
All across America.
Good morning. Hello.
Wherever we are,
welcome home.
It feels like home.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Man, it's good to be home.
Good morning, GMA, it's an invitation to come together.
George, how are you? Good morning.
And brighten your morning.
Now to a major chocolate heist, days before Easter.
Here's ABC's Sophie Flay.
This morning, thieves breaking off a piece of 12 tons of Kit Kat bars.
It's a Kit Kat caper. 12 tons, or 413,793 of Nestle's Kit Kat chocolate brand bars were stolen.
A truck loaded with the chocolate bars went missing somewhere between the Nestle plant in Italy and Poland. Nestle not saying how the truck was stolen. The theft could lead to shortages just days before Easter. But there's a bigger problem. Nestle saying, whilst we appreciate the criminals' exceptional taste, the fact remains that cargo theft is an escalating issue for businesses of all sizes, with more sophisticated schemes being deployed on a regular basis. Cargo thefts abroad and here at home are skyrocketing. Food products are increasingly the target. Criminals in New England recently made off with $400,000 in seafood, from crabs to lobster. Why food? it's harder to track compared to items like electronics.
TVs, things like that have serial numbers. Again, those are targeted as well, but a little bit easier to track. Obviously, a lobster doesn't have a QR code on it to track it down.
And experts say with shipping logistics now so heavily reliant on technology, thieves are exploiting GPS and computer systems to reroute trucks to fake warehouses. Officials say the notorious Sinaloa drug cartel has targeted cargo trains in the U.S. 6 men were arrested this month in connection with a train robbery in Arizona, where $300,000 in Nike sneakers were stolen.
Losses from the cargo theft topped $6 billion in North America last year. Sophie Flay, ABC News, New York.
The question Zach just brought up here, what do you do with all those Kit Kats now? You know?
I don't know. Would you sell them like individually?
Yeah, no. After you've eaten a few, it's like you're kind of, okay, that's enough of that.
It's a lot of chocolate.
Yeah, interesting.
Well, here's meteorologist Devin Biggs with our full weather forecast.
And thank you very much, Craig and Janessa. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center, now offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. Alrighty, here we go. A small craft advisory is up until Tuesday at around 6 a.m. We also have a winter weather advisory that's running until 11 a.m. As we head towards your Wednesday, we will be watching for some wintry precipitation that will be on the way as we head towards your Tuesday. Today and tonight, we will be okay. Wave heights for now at around 3 to 4 feet according to the buoys, while farther off towards the north and east, a little more active. While farther out towards sea, 3 to 4 foot wave heights are being observed at this moment in time. Meanwhile, here we are dry outside this morning under a mostly cloudy sky, and we are going to hold on to the clouds for a good part of this week. We have a front further off towards the north with some energy already taking place. And again, it's going to be leaving us alone for now. We'll just have the clouds today and tonight, but our turn for precipitation will soon be on the way. So we will be under a mostly cloudy sky today, maybe some rain further off towards the north. And then later on tonight, a mostly cloudy sky. The precipitation will leave us alone. We'll get precipitation in here Tuesday. A wintry mix, rain, freezing rain, sleet, and snow possibility. I'm definitely concerned about some ice concerns further off towards the north Tuesday night and the parts of your Wednesday, so things may get slippery. I wouldn't be surprised about a little bit of power outage concerns too as we head towards Tuesday night and the parts of your Wednesday. 1/4 of an inch to maybe 3/10 of an inch of ice before we're all finished up from Millinocket up to Caribou too. Nothing further down toward the south. So that means snow accumulation's not too bad, maybe a couple inches further off towards the north, obviously not so much further down toward the south. So mostly cloudy and windy today with highs in the low 60s, southwest wind at about 30 miles per hour. By tonight, we have mid-30s under a mostly cloudy sky and that northwest wind backing off to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Upper 30s, rain, freezing rain, sleet, and snow to watch out for with that northeast wind getting up to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. And let's check out your extended forecast brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center. For your Wednesday morning rain chances, those will back off with highs in the mid-50s. And then mostly cloudy Thursday with highs in the low 40s. Good Friday, another wintry mix switching to all rain with highs in the low 40s.
Chevy trucks are as capable and dependable as the Chevy people who drive them. You probably know one. Your sister. Your buddy. The ones who always show up. They all have that little extra something. And maybe you got it too.
It's Chevy Truck Month. Just announced. Get $8,360 total value on this 2026 Chevy Silverado. Plus, Costco executive members can get a $1,250 members-only incentive.
I found the University Studies program, and the people were fantastic, and they helped me understand how I could really pretty easily become part of UMaine, become part of that program, and showed me that within about 2 years, I could have my degree. What I like about being able to study anywhere is probably this. I can literally be outside on the deck. I can be in my house. I can be in another country doing my schoolwork, and it just works really well for my for the life that I have.
I'm the lady in the black dress, and I have to make a decision now.
this is when the collision happened.
You're supposed to turn left if you're in the left-hand turn lane.
There are consequences for actions. It is all your fault. Zero evidence. Yeah, wah, 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 wah. Get out.
On ABC 7.
This is Rescue 53, the distressed male.
Go shovels.
Get him in the ambulance. You're going to keep him alive till we get what we need.
Judge Judy never misses a beat.
This is my playpen.
Let me stop you.
Don't stop me ever. Is not an answer. I love this job.
Judge Judy.
Weekdays at 5 on ABC 7.
Arizona is now reunited with a furry friend that he made overseas. Sterling was in Gaza, and while he was there, he befriended a stray dog. When his assignment came to an end, he had to leave his companion behind.
Everyone cared for him. He just became part of our family.
But that didn't last long thanks to the SPCA International Patriot Pets program, which reunites service members with the dogs and cats that they cared for on deployment. The program stepped in to help, and after their time apart, Sterling was finally reunited with his buddy, Rocky.
I was just really happy to see him, and it was cool. It took him a minute, and I think he realized who I was. And I always gave him hot dogs. So I started feeding him hot dogs, and I think that kind of refreshed his mind and rekindled our relationship. I'm very fortunate and happy.
Although this is an extensive process that can take up to several months, but it's to ensure all animals are safe.
Oh, we love that too. And they look happy.
They do.
So neat. Well, artisans across Central and Eastern Europe are gathering to take part in a revered Easter-time tradition, egg decorating. Leipzig, Germany is hosting its annual Easter Egg Festival, where eggshells become astounding works of art. This year, 29 German artists are exhibiting their egg decorating techniques, ranging from traditional methods to modern egg art. Decorating smaller eggs can take artisans anywhere from 8 to 10 hours, while crafting the larger one can take weeks. The event also reflects regional identity and continuity, as families pass down methods, patterns, colors, and cultural meaning across the generations. Visitors to the event not only experience the making of the traditional colorful Easter eggs, but they also have a chance to buy and bring home a unique piece of art. This year, Easter will take place on Sunday, April 5th. How about that?
Those are incredible.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kind of puts my old Pez decorating things to shame.
I know, I was going to say, mine
Yeah.
don't look as good as that.
Yeah, something to aspire to.
Definitely. Well, that's all the time that we have left for this hour. But you can join us for the second hour of Good Morning Maine. That's next on Fox 22.
Thanks for being there, everyone. We hope you have a great day.
Paramount Paving, Maine's go-to for all your paving and seal coating. Paramount Paving offers commercial and residential paving and seal coating services throughout eastern and central Maine. Give us a call for a free estimate today. Paramount Paving. When it comes to paving, we are Paramount.
Mud season, baby, welcome to Maine. Roads get messy, but we don't complain. Winter's fading, spring's in between. It's our extra little season here in Maine. Tires spinning as the back roads flow. Sun shining, but the back roads say whoa. Yeah, it's sloppy, but it's all part of the scene. Living that extra muddy season in Maine.
Paramount Paving, Maine's go-to for all your paving and seal coating. Paramount Paving offers commercial and residential paving and seal coating services.
Grab any size iced coffee for $1.29 and pair it with a bagel sandwich.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Good Morning Maine on WFVX, Fox 22. From the Great North Woods to the Rockbound Coast and streaming live in HD worldwide at foxbangor.com. More people choose Good Morning Maine.
Everyone, today on Good Morning Maine, 2 Belfast teenagers have been arrested and charged with arson in connection with a structure fire in town. We'll have the details coming up.
Plus, rising oil prices driven by the conflict in Iran are increasing asphalt costs here in Maine as towns prepare for the upcoming paving season.
And a local radio station held their fundraiser broadcast over the weekend for TSA agents and members of the Coast Guard as well.
Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Janessa Bishop.
And I'm Craig Colson. Thank you for joining us on this Monday morning. We'll have those stories and more coming up. First, hope you had a great weekend. Hope you had a nice weekend too.
It was nice.
Yeah.
The sun was out.
It was nice. And guess what? It's going to get warmer too. It's not going to be very sunny today, a little bit on the cloudy side, but temperatures are going to get up into